everyone, it's Miss O'Neill here, and today is a good day to have a good day. We're at the part in our math book where we are doing subtraction with double digits, but we're going over things we learned about during addition and finding out how to do them while we are subtracting. Okay, I'm really excited for this. It's really cool. All right, so you might recognize the word estimate. Remember when we talked about rounding each number to the nearest 10? I brought in a little help to help us remember the rules, okay? So remember, 5 to 9, you're doing just fine. You can go ahead and go up to the next number. 4 to 1, oops, that's no fun. You have to go down to the nearest number, okay? So if I had the number, let's say 23, I'll just write it over here, 23. I have to take a look at the number that's in the ones place and decide from the number only that's in the ones place, am I going to round up to 30 or am I going to round down to 20? Okay. What do you think we would do with a number like 23 with a 3 in the ones place? You're right, that would go under, oops, no fun, and we would have to go down to 20. But if I had a number like 27, kind of a short 7, there we go, 27. What would I do? Would I round up to 30 or down to 20? Awesome, wonderful. 7's over here. That's in my 5 to 9. You're doing just fine. You go up to 30, okay? I'm going to erase these for now. I'm going to keep this handy and close by so we can keep going back to it while we are doing this page in our practice workbook together. So go ahead and get yourself a pencil. Go to the page where it says 13.3 practice up at the top, and we are going to do number 1 together, okay? Number 1 says 46 minus 22, and it also gives us a bunch of different number lines to use up here, which will be helpful. All right, 46 minus 22. First, we have to take a look at the number 46. Can you find 46 on this number line for me? Nice, 46 is right over here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a little dot over it, 46. And now we have to find 22. Or, no, we don't have to do that. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to make it a little bit easier to see all of the 10s in both number lines. All right, so we have the number 46, and we have to figure out, are we going to round up to the nearest 10 to 50, or are we going to round down to 40? 46. 46. Remember, when we're deciding whether or not to round, we only look at the ones place. What number is in the ones place in the number 46? Yeah, 6. So would that go under 4 to 1, oops, no fun? Or 5 to 9, you're doing just fine? You're right, it would go 5 to 9, you're doing just fine. So we would round up to 50, which you probably already guessed because this answer is already done for you, but that's okay, we'll trace over it. All right, and 22. Number 22 is up here. 22, are we rounding down to 20 or are we rounding up to 30? We're going to round down to 20. I like when we have a number line right in front of us like this and we can see with our own eyes if this dot is closer to the 20 or if this dot is closer to the 30. So sometimes you might be able to see if you round up or down just by looking at the number line or even just by looking at the number that's in the one spot. All right, so we have 50 minus 20. 50 minus 20. There's a couple different things that we could do here. You could use your mental math, and you can figure out 5 minus 2 equals 3, and then make 50 minus 20 equal 30. Or you could use manipulatives to help you out. Okay? When we're estimating differences, you don't have to, I repeat, you do not have to get out a piece of paper and set up a tens and ones frame for subtraction if you don't want to. Okay? Because if you do set up a tens and ones frame, let's just see what that would look like really quickly. We'd have 50 minus 20. And yeah, you can see. So we would just do 0 minus 0, which is 0. And then we would do 5 minus 2, which we have to do anyway. You know what I mean? So you might as well just not even waste your time doing that when we are estimating, and only when we are estimating, okay? Let's go ahead to number 2. I'm gonna switch colors. Goodbye to blue, hello to pink. So our first number is 55. I'm going to find 55 right up here. And now I'm going to decide, am I going to round up or down? Well, I know that 55 ends in a 5, and that was one of the tricky numbers that we talked about. It's right in the middle of that number line, but there is a rule. Find 5 on this number line and tell me, are we rounding up or are we rounding down? Wonderful job. 6 is right over here. We are rounding up. Oh, not 6. Haha. 5 is right over here, so we are rounding up. The nearest 10 going up is going to be 60, okay? So 55 over here is going to turn into a 60, and now 28. I'm going to find on the number line over here. 28. Now is 28 closer to 30, or is 28 closer to 20? Just by looking at the number line, can you tell me? Wonderful, it's closer to 30. So we'll put 30 there for 28. So we rounded up 55 to 60, and we rounded up 28 to 30. Now we have to solve the problem, 60 minus 30, okay? 60 minus 30. I am going to ignore my zeros for now. What is 6 minus 3? Wonderful. 6 minus 3 equals 3, and then I'm just going to put a 0 in the ones place there. Okay, 60 minus 30 equals 30. Awesome, wonderful. Let's do 2 more. Say goodbye to pink and say hello to purple. Awesome. So now we have 44 minus 31, okay? 44 minus 31 over here. Let's find 44, awesome. 44, is 44 closer to 40 or closer to 50? It's a little bit towards the middle. It's a little hard to tell. So let's take a look at our rules, our rounding rules. 4 to 1, oops, no fun. 44 ends in a 4. So is 4 going to tell us to round up or round down? Awesome. 44, we are rounding down to the nearest 10. And the nearest 10 to 44 is 40. So 40 over there. Now 31. 31 I can find all the way up here. Now, is 31 closer to 30 or to 40? This one should be pretty easy to tell just by sight. 30 or 40? Wonderful. We are rounding down 31 all the way to 30. Okay, 44 we rounded down to 40. 31 we rounded down to 30, and now it is time to subtract. We're going to do mental math here, just like we did mental math for numbers 1 and 2. 4 minus 3 equals, wonderful, 1. going to add a 0 for the ones place because 0 and 0 here. Awesome! You guys are killing it. You were doing an amazing job here. Let's do one more together just to make sure that we got the hang of this. I know estimating and rounding can get a little bit tricky. We're smart second grade kids. I don't want to hear the word can't. I want to hear the word I got it, I get it, I already did it. All right, 56 minus 26. And 56 is all the way up over here. Are we rounding up to 60 or rounding down to 50? Could be a little bit hard to tell on site, so let's just go to our rounding rules. In the number, what's the number? 56, haha. We are ending in a 6. 6 in the ones place. So are we rounding up with our 6 or rounding down with our 6? Awesome, you are rounding up. So 56, we're going to round up to the nearest 10, up to 60. Wonderful. Now we have the number 26. I'm going to find 26. Awesome. So 56 and 26 both end in a 6, right? And we just found out that we round up when we have a 6 in the one spot. So are we rounding up to 30 or are we rounding down to 20? Awesome, you are rounding up to 30. Cool beans. And if you are anything like me, you're noticing that 60, 60, 30, 30. So the answer to our problem, 6 minus 3, and then add a 0 in the one spot, must be 30. Awesome, you did an amazing job here. So let me give you a little bit of a helpful hint as you go on and keep doing this yourself. So I like to, on the side of my papers, if I need to remember something super important while I'm working, I like to write it over here. So I might do something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And then I might put a box or an arrow around it to help me remember. Maybe a little bit of both, and then maybe some on the other side over here. To help me remember, 4 to 1, oops, no fun. 5 to 9, you're doing just fine. To round down and to round up. If it's confusing you that, well, it's kind of confusing me that down is up and up is down, you could also just write the words over on the other side too. Down, up. Or you could just remember our little 4 to 1, oops, no fun, 5 to 9, you're doing just fine inside of your head. Was there something else I was going to say? Let's see. Oops, okay, yeah. So there's a reason why when we are doing our number lines here and estimating, we're not talking about 0 and we're also not talking about 10. If that was a question that you had in your head. So when we are rounding, we round each number to the nearest 10. If something is already at a 0 or ends in a 0, like 10 or 0, it's already to the closest tens place, so there's no need to estimate, right? So if our problem said 56 minus 30, and then we went up and we put a circle on 30, well, we don't really have to guess what 30 is closest to. It's already on 30. You know what I mean? So that's why our rule only goes from 1 to 9. Awesome. Cool. That's it from me. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and maybe put a star next to the question you're having trouble with. You can write your question down. Remember that on Fridays, I have office hours. You can just stop in, ask me any questions. I might do them on Wednesdays too if we need them. I don't know. Let me know in our Zoom meeting today. Awesome. I love you a lot. I miss you a bunch, and I will see you really soon. Bye.